the mind might lay, but our body never lays. Our mind might say lies, because we can manipulate our thoughts. But the body is not able, we are not able to manipulate. The body has its own rules. How many times might happen, no? Very simple things. You call a brother for a colloquium, and you see, are you okay? Yes. How do you feel? No, it's okay, don't worry. Oh, don't worry. No? So the verbal one is saying something which is contrary of the non-verbal one. Because the non-verbal one is printed in our body, the body never lies. Never. The words might lie, but the body never lies. Never. That's why it's important for a formator also to learn the non-verbal language. Right. The words, or better, the language, the verbal language and non-verbal language becomes also a science. The science who makes use of the words and the verbal and non-verbal language is the psychotherapy, which is medicine of the soul. And those who are working with souls, or those who are working with people, making use of this this science, they become doctor of soul. So, brothers, a formator is a doctor of soul, as well as a spiritual director. So he has to have the person to get back to the normal life. So the doctor of the soul is a therapist who has a patient. And the therapist with a patient has a proper setting. This one. The place where they meet each other. A proper setting. Also, as doctor of soul, we have counselor, which has got a client. Because, you know, I want to clarify for you in the future. Counselors are not therapists. Counselors, they help to make order in some moment of the life, especially when they have to make a choice in their own life. Therapists, we try to help, giving some support with some bad or wrong behavior. The counselor is in the area of counseling. The therapist is in the area of make order in some part of wrong behavior. And that's why the therapist, they have a patient, the counselor, they have a client. But doctors of the souls are also formators. Formators are souls, are doctors of souls. And who are the people who go to formator, or they have to go to formandis? Please don't make confusion. That's why it's important. Yesterday or the other day, you said, may a formator be a therapist? No, with the formandi. He might be a therapist, but with a personal or outside professional of his place. But a formator even though he might have ability as a therapist, cannot be a therapist with formality. Because it's not the proper area. When we clarify our roles and our competencies, there is no confusion. And there is no manipulation. When there is confusion, there is manipulation. And we cannot manipulate people's life, nor people's soul. As well as another doctor of soul is spiritual director. What is the area of the spiritual director? Soul. The spiritual director cannot be a formator. A spiritual director cannot be a counselor. You know, because otherwise there is confusion. You know, each one of them, they have their own area. And all of them, here we can see, for the therapist and the counselor, the place for them to act is this one, where we have a proper setting, chairs and whatever. For formator, the spiritual director, the area where they act is work with. But you see, if you see this image, this picture, there is something particular. How many people do you see there? 3. There are 2 visible ones and 1 invisible. The invisible one, as I told you, is the Holy Spirit, who will help, who will work with them. In the work of formation, there are always 3 in this journey of formation: formandi, formators, and the Trinity of the Holy Spirit. That's why we cannot make confusion, because for the therapist and counselor, we have some strategy and techniques to apply, and some kind of knowledge. In the other area, formator and spiritual director, we deal with spiritual area. Please, when you will be formator, even when you are the spiritual director, don't make confusion. Clarify your area. The more clear you are, more helper you become for the formalities. When someone would like to do everything and anything, want to be formator, want to be superior, want to be spiritual director, want to be counselor, want to be for anything. So there we go straightly, without any hesitation, in such kind of abuse. Yes?
Sorry, please. I know that this is not the time for questions, but the way you're putting it just came straight, especially the spiritual direction. You have a formation house, let me say, 4 formators, with, let me say, about 45 students. And now each of them are required to be spiritual directors to certain number of students. In essence, I might be spiritual director to these students here. I will not be to the others. So on the day of evaluation, I will not speak for these ones, but I'll be able to speak.
Yes.
Is it
You
right?
might be able, but I will suggest by Spirit not to do it. Okay, not to do it. So to keep the safety and the privacy of the person, the spiritual director has to do all the spiritual director for an area, and then he has to leave. It might not be. Theoretically, it might be, but I think it's not practical at all. It doesn't respect the privacy of the persons. That I am the spiritual director for you, but I am the formator for the others. No. Well, in the same seminar, in the same house of formation, it does produce effect. The effect that it produces is people that have confidence and trust. So you might do, but you will see that those people who are under your spiritual guidance don't come to you. They go to someone else outside. You know? And what is the task of these people, therapists, counselors, spirit formator, and spiritual director? Task of inventing words that heal inner wounds. To invent words, make use of the words that heal inner wounds. This is the task of those people, doctor of souls. They have to find proper words to heal the inner wounds. That's why I told you colloquium is made by words. And now we see the power of the words. Words have a big power of healing or power of wounding. Imagine for a moment a formator that says easily, I don't know why you are so stupid and you don't understand. Okay? It's normal words. Why you are so stupid and I don't understand what you are doing? You know what the effect of word stupid makes in a person? You think sometimes most of the time we try to apply the shock therapy. Shock therapy is not for the soul. It's not for the formation. Shock therapy is needed when they go through a trauma and they are used in the therapy, but not in formation. And that's why the power of the word. Say stupid to someone and you don't know what produces this person.
I think when you use that word, I just remember from some time past. Even in this delegate is happening. One time, superior philosophy waiting told us that he has dug a hole. He's waiting for those that will fall into a cover as a computer. So he has dug a hole, waiting for those people that will fall. And he cover. So when you mention that word, I just said, I think from that your point of view, from our own fathers, I think he discovered that with the work of the informator and so many, there are so many vocations that are not yet. That is why I think we have special prayer.
You know that what I used at the beginning in terms to the word that I said, no? Now you became aware how to make some vocational motion. You know? It's a strong word, but it gives the sense. Yeah, right? And you know, brothers, those things might happen, sometimes happens, and I would say, with you, have not weapon anymore. Because those people, maybe they didn't have such kind of information that you are having. You will be even more responsible if when you will be in charge, you will make the same thing of the others. Because at least we can say they didn't know. They were not aware of all this procedure, but now you are. You know? Right. The use of words cures if it becomes awareness. Therefore, new to me, and allow my being to be born again. The use of words heal if those words they become awareness for me. Awareness means something new to me that I was not able to understand before. Now it's clear to me. They become new for me and allow to my being, to my person, to be born again. I can make a new start. You know the power of the words, the power of the use of the words. So when they might hear, when those words are something, how many times happens? I've seen so many times in my life as a formator. Father, I never thought like this. Now I feel peace. You gave me a new vision of the reality. This is the way to make people aware. Give them a new start. Allow them to be born again. And words all together, they are chaos. If you put words together, it's just chaos. But words have a healing power if they are said in the right way. and in a proper time. The right way and a proper time. You know, brothers, words have a healing power if they are said in the right way, in a proper time.
Recording in progress.
Be careful. You might say some nice words, but it's not the proper time for them to listen. So those words they are powerless. But as well as when we say in the right way, in a proper time, which word to say, which word to use, how to say those words, when to say those words, which, how, when. So this is, you see how important he is to be for me, how delicate he is to be for me. When we use words to produce a new effect in this person, which word we are going to use? I don't know why I'm so stupid. You know, you might say the same thing, but differently. Why, some point, it's not clear to you what you are reading or what you are saying? You have said the same thing. And how to say it. I don't know why you don't understand some things. You know the non-verbal language, no? When in the chapel at the end of all the prayers, you know, the word that you are using are totally powerless, and they need roots in people's life. Word will have a healing power if the word will have a healing power if it is inserted, put in a relationship and in a encounter. So, word have a healing power if they are inserted in a relationship and in an encounter. You know, brothers, I think that sometimes you have this experience. If, for instance, if someone tells you, but why you act like this? The first, if there is no relationship between me and Magnus, and I say, Magnus, why do you act like this? You might say, but mind yourself. And it's right. And it's right. If I'm a friend of Magnus, why are you acting like this? You know, because this and this and that. What is the difference? The words are the same. The relationship. Before there was no relationship, it was right to say, mind yourself. But in the other sense, when there is a relationship, he might say because of this and that. And also, I want to say, I didn't put here, but I put here on the table now. Try to learn how to make use of this word. Why? How come? You know, brothers, these two words, they have a tremendous power of building or destroying. Why means investigate, find out something in your life. Why did you do that? What I have to do with this why? Now what this man wants me to say. I have to think and to invent a story in order to defend myself. Why? Because why is pointing out is why in itself has a power of judging, of investigating. But if he knows how come has a power of saying, please let me know. Can you relate to me? Can you tell me about? But when I say, can you tell me about, can you relate? There is a inner motivation. I want to take care of you. You know? I want to take care of you. I'm interested in what you are doing. This man has got a tremendous power of judging. A brother, he happens in other parts of the world, in all the religious families, in all the religious congregation, in all the house of formation. I don't know why the alarms, the alarms in all parts of the world and in all house of formation, most of the time they are broken. Why I'm telling you this? Some brothers come for the morning prayers, right? Why did you come? Why did you didn't come to the prayers? Because the alarm didn't work. I didn't listen to the alarm, I didn't wake up. Okay? It is the truth. But to invent that the alarm didn't work is because I have to defend the word why. But if I call the person, how come this morning you didn't come to the prayers? I got to sleep. So how come invites you to be truthful? Why invites you to lie? And to be false. That's why also we have to learn how to make use of the word. And that's why word will have a healing power if they are inserted in a relationship and in an encounter. Meeting of the world of the one who listens and of the one who speaks. So the word is a meeting of the world of the person who is speaking and the person who is listening. This is important. I want to meet his word. His word. He has to meet my word. Formation is a matter of meeting. Meeting equal, meeting what? Now we see the place of the meeting, of the word, and of listening. What is the proper place of this meeting? Colloquium. The colloquium is the place, is the moment, is the area where there is this meeting between word and listening. Carefully listen to the stories and understand how the person came to think, to feel and act the way he does today. This is an important element, brothers. In the colloquium, you formators listen to the stories of the person. How come? And try to understand through the way of relating, of telling the story, or what he's saying, how the person come to think. And also, how does he feel in the way that he's acting today. Because if I'm doing something now, there is a backward story, remember. It's not just something that comes from the night to the day, but there is a story. If a brother or a formandi acts saying lies, not saying the truth, it's not something of today, but it comes from the past. And there is history in there. And the formator what he has to do, he has to understand the story which is at the back. The not saying words. Simply listening attentively and empathically is sufficient to produce a significant change. For method, sometimes you don't need to say a lot of words. You don't need to say or to make some miracles. Sometimes people need to be listened. And simply listening and attentively means I try to look at you. And empathically, I try to enter in your shoes. This is enough to produce a significant change in people's life. How many, those who are in the pastoral work, how many times people come to you, they want to talk, and you just listen? Father, only the way that I've said, and you have listened to me, now it's different. If this happened with the people, the faithful of God, how much and how more is to happen with the formandis? You know, it will help person to think about the new ways to read their own stories. This is the goal of a colloquium. Brothers, this is the way of a colloquium. This is the goal of a colloquium. To help people to think about new ways to read their own stories. Keep this very clear in your mind. Through conversation, it's possible to rewrite and rethink old stories in order to create new stories, more positive and proactive. This is the way, the goal, and this is the way that we have to achieve through the colloquium with formandis. And also in your pastoral work, you can do this. Through conversation, and by listening attentively and empathically, it is possible to rewrite and to rethink old stories, my past life, in order to create a new story, a new life, a new beginning, which now is more positive and proactive. Can I use 5 minutes more to finish this part and then we have a break? Because now it's already 45. I will finish this part and then this way. Then we move to the next one. Then the colloquium has to achieve to make people to be aware. To become aware. Not to judge them, but they have to become aware of their own frailties as well as for their own gift and talents. Awareness is deeper than an emotional experience. Most useful ways of thinking about new behavioral actions. So, awareness is go behind this emotional experience, but to make use of a new way of thinking about this behavior. And so, then we break it. The objective, the goal of the colloquium is a personal development and growing. This is the goal, the objective of a colloquium. A personal development and growth. Right. We can break because then we are going to start with these other parts. Listen. Okay? So let's have a break.